Okay, good morning. My name is Adam Ezard. I work for早稲田University Junior and Senior High School. This is 早稲田大学高等学院 in Japanese. I can speak Japanese, but I would like to present in English. It's much easier for me. If you have any questions in Japanese later, that's fine with me. It's a junior senior high school. I mainly work in the junior high school, and until last night I was away on Shugaku Ryoko. So I've been surrounded by 120 15-year-old boys for 4 days. It's wonderful to be in a room full of adults. So I'd just like to introduce my theme, applying a blended learning approach to extensive reading at the junior high school level. And just let me quickly go through my outline. So I'll give a quick bio and the purpose for today's presentation. I'll introduce ER and how we do this at our school and the blended learning approach, the ongoing evaluation that we're doing, and then future directions after that. I'm going to try and squeeze that into 20 minutes. If I can't do it, let's talk at lunchtime. So just quick bio for me. I've been in Japan about 25 years. I've been working at this school for about 13 years now. I'm a full-time teacher at the school. I also do materials writing mainly for Zedkai and Kyoka Kaihatsu. And the main purpose of today's presentation, sharing ideas, gathering feedback. My real purpose is to encourage the spread of ER in junior high school. I really believe that every junior high school in Japan should be doing some form of extensive reading. So as far as our school goes, how did we introduce it? Let's give you a quick overview. It's a private school. We have 360 students, all boys, in the junior high school. Senior high school has 1,500. All students enter早稲田University. There's no entrance exam. That makes it a little bit different from regular schools. We don't need to focus on exam studies. So what we can do, the flexibility we have, I appreciate, is different from a lot of other schools. And the English program in the junior high school, we have Eigo A, which is your basic grammar using New Treasure. That's 3 times a week. We have quite small classes. Our class is 30 students in the junior high school. And then we will have Eigo B. This is split in the first grade, 13 second and third grade. There's 2 hours of that. That's a kind of a 4 skills course. Both Eigo A and Eigo B are taught by Japanese English teachers. Sentaku in the 8th and 9th grade, so Chuni, Chusan. That's mainly a presentation, using PowerPoint to make presentations, again with a Japanese teacher. And then the class that I am in charge of is this one, Sogo B. So the class is only 15 students. We split the class with between 2 teachers. But it's only 1 hour a week, which really does quite limit what we can do in this time. And pre-2019, this was a 4 skills program linked to the Eigo A syllabus. But in 2019, Eigo B syllabus changed. The Japanese teachers wanted to focus on a 4-skill syllabus, which was kind of taking away my thing. So I needed to develop something new. So from 2020, we moved to a more holistic focus with ER at the center. Starting at ER, in 2020, we were looking into expanding the number of English resources. We have a fantastic library. Apparently, our library is the biggest library in Japan for high school with a number of books. There are basically no English books. And it was very, very difficult to get a budget for the English books. We kind of had to give up on that. I did a limited trial of X reading in 2020, and it was quite successful. We had about 20 students doing this. It was quite successful. So we decided to implement this in 2021. All our 7th graders started to have a laptop computer from 2021. So we decided to implement X reading and extensive reading right across from Junior 1, Junior 2 and Junior 3 in 2021. And in 2022, the Eigo B teachers also gave me 10% of their grade as part of the X reading syllabus. So that gives students a little bit more motivation to get a grade. Because Sogo B is not a graded, it's Sogo, so there's no actual grade. But now this does go into their grade as well. And we then started doing the X Reading Awards, and we introduced this to the parents, like in a big holistic whole school effort. And the rationale behind it, how to set it up, was quite difficult at first. It's been a process. You know, you've got people out there who are saying, you know, you need over 1 million words to get proficiency in English. and that's obviously not possible in junior high school. Belger and Hunt's study was saying 200 to 300,000 words per year for lower grade readers in, I think this is university, was acceptable. Less than 100,000, not really acceptable. 115,000 led to improvement for 15, 16-year-olds. So I've got 12 to 15-year-olds, so a little bit lower level than that. This was the kind of reading that was inspiring me to set word targets. I didn't find much data on junior high school for ER, and we've got quite a few difficulties. Obviously, students in the 7th grade, Shuichi, they're starting from basically zero. So that really does handicap it. There's a lack of vocabulary. So even if they're reading very easy books, they can read the book, but they can't do the quiz because they can't understand the words in the quiz. That was a bit of a difficulty. So as far as the settings, when we started with X reading, I was giving them 60% on the quizzes. They were struggling a bit. I dropped that down to 40%. Our word limit is 300 words a minute. Obviously, junior high school students can't read 300 words a minute, but some of them do like to skip through the books, and I want to encourage them by allowing them to do that, if they want to do that. I initially let them read a level above their current level. I've dropped that down to reading only their own level and below at the moment, and I don't allow them to read the same books. They can retake the test. Now, I know Paul at X Rating doesn't like me to say this, but at junior high school, I've got quite a lot of control over them. If they cheat, they get into really big trouble, okay? If you allow university students to retake the test, cheating is going to happen. I don't recommend it for anything beyond junior high school. Minimum word targets, like I said, this is kind of a process. In 2023, 2024, these are my minimum targets. So you can see that the Chuichi students are basically hitting the target. The Chu-Ni are basically hitting it. The Chu-San are way off. They've kind of lost motivation here. And I had to try and change this to get this back. So these are the targets per term. The issue is to consider, after initial excitement, when you introduce extensive reading, we're doing it over 3 years, students do start to lose motivation. It becomes mendokusai. Students with very little English background often struggle. So we do get, I mean, our school is apparently quite a high-level school, but we do get students coming in with zero English at all. And some of the students do resist it. The 10% of the A or B grade has motivated them, but it tends to drop off in the 3rd year. And what we do see is if you set a word target, you get some students that hit the target early. They read lots of books, and they don't do anything else. Conversely, you get students that do nothing until the end of the term, and then they're suddenly panic reading to try and get the books. And when this happens, there's a temptation to cut corners, there's a temptation to cheat, which we've had to deal with quite a lot last year. So we've kind of come to this at the moment. This is our 2025 syllabus. So 7th grade, 5,000 up until September, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. It seems to work quite well. If the students do a minimum, and we do tell them this is a Site level, we want you to do more, but this is the minimum. If they do a minimum, they will be hitting 230,000 words over 3 years at junior high school. The average is significantly more than this. Which compared to the 5,000 words they would read in the Kente Kyokasho is a huge improvement. And again, junior high school is just, it's the beginning. It's not the end. They're going to go from this to the high school. Hopefully they'll read a lot more words in high school and university. And my data at the moment, so we're in the 2nd term now. The 7th graders, the average was 17,500, so way more than what we set them. 8th graders are over the limit. 9th graders, the lazy 9th graders, they're not, the average is not at the 40,000 mark, but it's kind of close. It's much better than it was in the past. So we did introduce a blended learning approach. I don't want to just give them reading tasks. I want this to be part of the whole syllabus. So this is what we do with the blended learning approach. In the 7th grade, the 1st term, we do things like Kahoot quiz, reading diary, reading aloud. The students are allowed to confer in Japanese. Which book did you read? What was good? They give each other advice in Japanese. Moving on to the 2nd term, we have things like book reports. You need to read a book over 300 words. In the 3rd term, we do a play, which they present in the studio. And a lot of this material we give to the parents. The parents are able to see any videos, any material, any writing that they do. Second term, second grade, it really kicks off. So we start speed reading. X reading has a speed reading function. The students get really motivated to try to improve their speed reading as they go along, and they can graph this up. The book discussion, a book report again, but in the first year, when we do the book report, finally they make a PowerPoint presentation and they present the book report to the students. The second year, we decided it was boring doing the same thing again. So from the second year, we started doing manga. They create a manga using AI, and then they use that to create a PowerPoint slide. And it took a little bit too long last year presenting it. So this year I'm getting them to make a video, to submit the video and show that on the movie day. And we do a play again in the third term. Ninth grade is a bit of a problem for me because I don't teach ninth grade, and the teacher in charge of ninth grade isn't so keen on doing extensive reading in the class. So I'm really just working behind the scenes to try to get them to do a little bit more. I'm hoping to do a little bit with a textbook, possibly using the X Reading News in the future. So we did start the X Reading textbook, the links this year. It doesn't quite fit junior high school. We're going to look into possibly a different textbook in the future. If I give you some examples, these are examples of our book reports for Chuichi. These are just from last week, actually. These got written last week. This is the first draft. Obviously, they'll get this corrected and they'll come up with a second or third draft. It's quite basic. They don't know anything beyond present tense at the moment, but it's pretty good for Chuichi. This is our Chuni book report. And when they get this corrected, they complete their final draft. So this will be a Chuni final draft of the book report. This will be used in our Gakushu Happyokai, so parents can come and see this kind of thing. With the manga, so I use this program called Dashtune. It's an AI, it's free up to a certain limit. And what they do is they make their book report and they pop their book report into the software. And this will make a manga for you. So what you can do is you can choose your characters. This is like a kind of like animation characters. It's all different kind of characters, different kind of illustration you can choose. It will make the screenshots for you. It'll give you the story. You have to do a bit of arrangement. You have to put some words in, give them speech bubbles and stuff like that. So there's quite a bit of work for the students to do here. And then at the end, what happens? So they write the story. They enter the story into Dashtune. They choose their characters. They edit their dialogue. They download the slides. They record a PowerPoint presentation of this. And save it as an MP4, and they upload it to my box. And then we'll have a movie day. So students get to see each other's manga presentation on the movie day. It's really good. And the plays, I'm not sure how much of a problem this is with copyright, so sorry to Rob Waring for stealing one of your ideas, but I've made plays from the books. The students, above any series at all, they love the Cengage Foundation books by Rob Waring. They all read these books, first of all. So I basically base the plays on this. I'll write the play. This is a play for Chuichi. You can see each student has about 83 words, 75 words, 77 words. The first year I did this, one character had 120 words, one character had 40 words or something. Huge mistake, huge criticism. Not fair, not fair, not fair. So I've tried to kind of figure it out. This is for Chuni, so there's not much difference in length, but the sentence length gets a lot longer for Chuni. I think I have time. I'll just show you a quick clip. This is Chuichi. So I find also in Kokugo in Japan, they don't do drama. Or in my school, they don't do drama. So they have no chance to do acting either. So we're also incorporating this, getting them to try to act the play. Okay, I'll skip through it a little bit. This is Chuni. So in the Chuni, we do this in the Daikodo.
Hey, what's going on here?
We encourage them not to read. Some of them can't do that. Some of them need to read it. Some of them don't.
Org and clean, and no more fighting. Hey, what are you doing here? We're gonna go something. Can't you read?
Okay, I can show more of this at lunchtime if you're interested in this. Okay. Connecting with the parents is really important. So we introduce extensive reading in the Hogo Shakai. We give them QR codes to videos so that hopefully the parents will look at this with the children. We produce an evaluation form for SOGO B. So this is an example of the evaluation form. So parents can see every term how many books they read, what the target was, what the Gakunen average is. This is really important so they can see not just how much he read, but how much he read compared to the other students. And we have the ERA-based output activities, book reports, presentations, plays. These are displayed at the Gakushū Happyokai. I make links and give QR codes to the parents, so the parents can go to my Google Drive and they can look at the students' plays and stuff on there. And then in the student interview, in the Mendan, the homeroom teacher will also bring in the X-reading report to the students at that time. So there's no escape. There's no escape. Feedback and evaluation. I've done questionnaires for the past couple of 2020, 2024, both for CHUNI. So the 2023, I just really wanted to understand how much they were processing what we're doing. Why are we doing it? Do they understand it? These are all pretty high. Yeah? Do you understand the purpose? Yes. Is it easy to use? Pretty much. Are the books that match your level? Yes. Is the level suitable? How often do you do? So I had given advice of doing it every day, and that wasn't happening. So we had to kind of change the advice a little bit. It really, I think it is a little bit too much to ask you actually to do reading every single day. And yeah, getting used to it. Do you prefer the online library to the school library? It's kind of 50-50. Students do like paper books. Who doesn't? I like paper books, but it's not practical. We do not have the budget to buy 120 copies of the same book times 1,000. It's just impossible. With X-reading, by the way, we pay for it out of the Gakunen-hi for the school. So the students don't pay for it. Well, they do because they pay their fees, but we pay it for them through the school. So the second study last year, I just want to go through this a little bit. So how often do you read it? 5 times or more, 3, once or twice a week? We kind of reduced the advice a little bit. Ooh, maki bashin. How long do you spend doing it? We found this kind of data. I expected them to use their smartphone more, but they tend to use their tablet a lot more. Where do you access it? One student said toilet, but mostly it's at home. I thought, because they're commuting, I thought they would do a lot more on the train. But what they said to me is train time is my free time. At school, if I get my phone out, the teacher shouts at me. At home, if I get my phone out, my mother shouts at me. On the train, I can play games. So that's what happens. Listening function is really important, and we were actually telling the students from this year to do listening as much as possible with every book. I really just need to go through this quite quickly. Do you hit the word target? I got them to write good points and bad points. I don't have time to go through this because I want to go to the next stage. So if you're interested in this, I can show you later. But we did get quite a lot of good advice from the students. And we got a lot of things that they're having trouble with. Some suggestions for them, which are great. Some what we can do in the future to change it. I'd like to look at how I'm measuring this. So we do GTEC basic level in Chusan Sangaki. And I could measure this because in 2021, students had not done any extensive reading. 2022, they did 1 year. 2023, 2 years. 2024 and 2025, they've had the whole 3 years of extensive reading. And if I look at this in terms of the reading score, it's gone up quite a lot. Every year it's going up significantly, especially the Sephar score. The listening score, because they're doing listening, it's gone up significantly. The writing score, it went up and down. I'll talk about this in a second. So if I measure in terms of Sephar score, you can see that the bottom has gone up and the top has gone up. Everything has gone up. If I graph it like this, you can see that kids that are getting B1.2, they've increased over the years. Kids that are getting the A1.2, they've gone right down to almost 0. In terms of listening as well, if I graph this up, you can see it's a very similar pattern. In terms of writing, it went massively up, even to B1.2, and then it went down again. The reason for this, we think, is because ZKai started doing typing. And when they started typing instead of writing, they couldn't write as much. And so that's why it's gone down in the past couple of years. Not the students, it's the system. What we learned, like I said, we're reducing advice to 3 or 4 times a week. We changed the reading levels. We balanced the listening. Sorry, I'm really trying to get through this quickly. Future, we'd like to link the classes to ER most strongly. An ER support center for students that are struggling, an after-school club, we'd like to open this up. Bringing ER into the 9th grade, give me 10 seconds. ER in senior high school, at the moment senior high school is not using it, and I really would like the teachers to use that there, and I'd really like to collaborate with other teachers. And yeah, thank you very much. Here's my references.